Hello, I'm Emma the Morris Dancer, and I've decided to make some videos showing some British Christmas food and traditions. If you've seen my other videos, you may notice I'm a Morris Dancer, a very British thing, but I am in fact a dual national of the US. I have an American mother. I was born and brought up in the UK, where I continue to live, though I did spend most Christmases in my childhood up until my early 20s in the US. So I have actually experienced some minor culture shock around Christmas as an adult in the UK, despite being overwhelmingly culturally British. So I've decided to show you mince pies, which are phenomenally popular in the UK and strongly associated with the Christmas season, but are seemingly almost unheard of in the US and don't really seem to be popular in many other parts of the world. I've actually got two types of mince pies to show you today. I've got Co-op Merry Mince Pies and Co-op All Butter Pastry Luxury Mince Pies. Most supermarkets are going to be selling at least their own brand of mince pies, often two. As you can see with the Co-op, they've got a standard selection and a luxury selection. Tesco, Sainsbury's, Morrison's, Waitrose, they're all going to be selling mince pies. Any cafe that you go into this time of year, I'm making this video in late November, will be probably selling mince pies. Even American chains like Starbucks will sell you mince pies this time of year. There's a lot of different mince pies on the market. You can get icing topped, chocolate topped, crumble topped, and this year I think I've had something in the range of at least 10 different brands of mince pies already, so I'm on the mince pie bandwagon. They typically appear in shops from late October or maybe mid-October. They're firmly on the shelves by the time you hit November. They are typically sold as individual size. I'll show the pie. Individual size pies, got a star on top. I love a star. You don't typically get big mince pies. I think historically I've seen something about, apparently they used to be oval shaped big mince pies, but I'm not sure about that. The recipe originated in at least the 13th century, has evidently presumably changed somewhat over the years. The name mince meat, which is what the filling is somewhat of a misnomer. There did historically used to often be meat in the pie, often suet. Beef suet, which is the hard fat in the beef. These days, most mince pies are going to be vegetarian. You will actually struggle to find a mince pie that has got actual meat in it. It is also relevant to note that the term meat didn't always mean animal flesh. It actually meant food or sustenance, nutrition, whatever, in general. In Middle English, including up until the 15th century, vegetables could actually be called green meat and dairy could be called white meat. Meat hasn't always meant literally animals. It had a broader sense. I believe the French word, I'm going to apologise in advance for my accent, viande, in the same era meant food in general, but it has developed a narrower meaning over time. I'm having a cup of tea with my pies in my Norwich Snap the Dragon mug. If you visit Norwich Castle Museum, you can see the original Snap the Dragon. This is the standard Co-op mince pie. This one actually is vegan. They haven't used butter in the pastry. I presume it's an oil. You can sort of see inside the pie. The typical filling is going to be, mincemeat, which has got a sort of a chutney-like consistency. It's going to be a mixture of apple, sultana, currants, raisins. I believe that the Brits used some of these terms slightly different than the Americans, just to cause some confusion. Sultanas, I think, are what Americans might call golden raisins. The spices involved are going to be cloves, cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, that type of thing. Another ingredient, which I will tell you about when I open these ones, alcohol. Filled with a rich spiced fruit and brandy mincemeat. Sorry, I've opened the packet terribly. So they've got brandy in the filling, which is very common. I would say if you're buying a standard mince pie, you're probably not expecting it to have alcohol in it, but if you're buying a higher market brand, or Tesco Finest or a luxury type, you're often expecting it to contain alcohol. The amount of alcohol is not enough that you can get drunk on. I do not think you could eat enough mince pies to be able to get drunk on mince pies. In fact, I don't even think that they will, it's not even something that will tell you a volume. Oh, these ones apparently have brandy and port. It's not something you would get ID'd for. I'm pretty sure if you bought these, they wouldn't worry that you might look like you might be underage. You're not going to get ID'd over mince pies in the UK. So this is the filling on the luxury one is much better. It's got butter in the pastry, it's got brandy in the filling. If you want to make your own mince pies, you can find a recipe for it online. I've actually made my own mince pies before. I used a BBC Good Food recipe, I believe. If I can find it, I might link it in the comments of the video, in the description of the video. I hope that you enjoyed this and discovered what in fact a mince pie is.